Have you ever seen your older siblings scavenging around the library trying to find Pokemon? Well, it's the darndest thing, and very odd to see, but I can now say that I've seen it. Thank you, Pokemon app. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome to Nightingale Reviews. As always, I'm Bailey, and today I will be doing another Top 5 Wednesday post. This week's topic is books that you wish had sequels. And there are a lot, let me tell you that. Lots and lots of books that need sequels, and they just have never been made. What a shame. This is kind of hard for me to pick, mostly because I start a series and I never finish the series, so I never truly know how it ends, so I can't really say if I want more or not. And so, yeah, I have commitment issues. Maybe that's why I don't have a boyfriend. Who am I kidding? That's not the reason. The first book series that I want to talk about is Talents by David Luber, and this series, I guess, is a duology at this point and will probably always be a duology, which is terribly unfortunate. The Talents series encompasses Hidden Talents and then its sequel, True Talents. In the first book we meet Martin, who knows how to get under teachers' skins and tell them things that make them explode. And he gets sent to Edgegrove Alternative School, in which he meets these people and he becomes good friends with them, but he realizes something's kind of off about all of them. And it turns out they all have their own hidden skills and talents and powers. One person is a chronic cheater, another person is constantly finding lost items that he has no idea where they came from or who they belonged to previously. Another person is always throwing things around, and it turns out this isn't because they're delinquents, it's because they have powers. Stuff goes down. The main character tries to help them hone these powers and just make them their own and make them stronger and make them more in control, and therefore do all this fun stuff with it. And the sequel here focuses on my favorite character in the entire series, who goes by the nickname of Trash.
I wouldn't want that nickname, but whatever floats your boat, dude.
And this dude is telekinetic. The author never planned to write a sequel to Hidden Talents, and so he decided to center it on Trash, and in this book, Trash goes through some stuff in which he's taken by this secret organization who want to use his powers. And I love that formula of stuff. It's super awesome. I'm addicted to superhero books because the superheroes are everything that I'm not. No, I'm kidding. That's not the reason.
Or is it?
This is just a really fun series. I love it. It's just a great gang of friends who are always there for each other, and it's just, this one was super action-packed, and if he can make another one based on Trash, I could die happy. But I just want another Talents book. That's all I'm asking.
All I want is a fun book with this telekinetic kid and these other kids whose names I don't remember because it was so long ago when I read it.
But I remember it was good stuff. It leaves off the story on a really good note, and it finishes up the series in a nice way, but I just would love to see what happens to these boys and just where their lives have taken them now and how their powers have progressed and what they've done with them. And it just would be awesome if Mr. Luber here would be nice and give that to me. But let's face it, I'll die sad not knowing. The next book that I'd like to talk about is the graphic novel The Motherless Oven by Rob Davis. And this book is the strangest book I've ever read. The Motherless Oven takes place in this world where parents don't make children, children make parents, and this one boy, Scarper's parent, his father, is a wind-powered brass construction with a billowing sail, and his mother is a hairdryer. In this book, appliances have souls, you know your death date, and you know it's coming, and then one day, our main character's father, who gets locked in the shed every day, somehow goes missing. I don't know if he escaped, I don't know if he ran away, and so our main character here's death date is approaching soon in several weeks, and he decides, I need to go find my father. And then there's this fabled place called the Motherless Oven, and so our main character runs off to find his father, and this is just the craziest book you'll ever read. I'm not kidding you, and it leaves no resolution whatsoever. It's like you're reading it and you're going, So this book is essentially a teen odyssey. Our main character is pretty much living a monotonous life. He doesn't get out much, and so the fact that his father is missing and he feels the need to go out and do something about it puts him on this journey that he's never been on before. It really puts him out of his comfort zone and just into this wild adventure you would never have expected to go on. This book is like your common coming of age story with all these really wacky, insane elements going on in it. So it's like nothing you've ever read before. And yes, you're reading it and it's extremely confusing. It's very insane and it feels just like you're not even reading English. But despite all that, oddity of every element, the peculiarness of the entire story just draws you in, and you're just feeding off of that book and just reading and reading it to the very last page, and then you close it and you're like, wow, what a heck of a way to end that book. And so I just really wish that the author would be able to go back and explain what the heck happened and go further into the story and more details into it so we understand it more. And I really would love to read more books set in this book's universe because it's so unique and so strange. It literally rains knives. So, oh my gosh, there's people riding outside on bikes.
I'm a creeper.
Okay. Yep, they passed by my driveway now. Keep on riding, kids. Be safe. The fourth book that I have here to talk about is The Marvels by Brian Selznick. Brian Selznick is a well-known author and illustrator. If you don't know what The Marvels is about, it's divided half. The first half is completely all pictures, and the second half is completely all written story. The first half, the pictures, starts off in 1766 with this little boy named Billy Marvel, and it follows him after a shipwreck and him being the sole survivor, and then his children and 5 generations after him. And they all become actors, and they're all well known in theater. It just goes on that journey with you, and then something really big happens. And then it just suddenly jumps to the written part, where we are introduced to Joseph in 1990, who has run away from school and eventually ends up at his uncle's front door, hoping that he will give him a place to stay. Once he's in London with his uncle, all of these things happen, and you have to try to figure out how are these two stories connected to each other. This book is one of my favorite books of all time. It's touching, it's sensational, it's heartwarming, and it's emotionally wrenching. The way that Selznick decided to piece all of this together was phenomenal, and he just led you on in all these mysteries, and as you started to figure them out, you realize just how brilliant of a storyteller he really is. To be able to create all of this into one novel, and to bring in the themes that he did. If I told you the themes, that would really spoil the book, and the main events, so I really do not want to do that, but just take my word for it. This is a beautiful story. It's got beautiful illustrations, a beautiful cover. By the ending, when I was emotionally distraught and about ready to throw myself into a wall, there was this little part in the end that's illustrated. And that is what I really want a sequel to be made off of. I'm going to put my hand up, and if you have not read this book, then please do not listen. When my hand goes down, it is safe again to listen. Alright, here we go.
Warning, warning, spoiler warning. Okay, here we go.
At the very end of the book, you know how it's illustrated. I'm not sure if that was the true reality that happened afterward, because I know that the beginning part was drawn because it was the fictional part of it, so I wasn't sure if that last sequence of pictures was something that was real or if it was fictional. And I just really need to know, and I need to know what the heck all this going on there, because
I am just up at night staring at my ceiling like, why, Brian? Won't you tell me? That is just the things you do to me, Brian. The things you do to me.
I was really surprised at what he made with the uncle situation, because I don't know why, but I think with middle grade novels, they don't really cover that area. But the fact that he included that in a middle grade novel was extremely powerful to me. I definitely want to know more about the ending, because come on, who would not want to know? I don't want to analyze that myself, I want to know the facts. The facts. The second to last book series that I would like to talk about is Fruits Basket. Now this is a manga. It's read right to left. It has been around for quite a long time now, and they're just being republished. This series is one of my ultimate favorite mangas because I originally watched the entire anime series like 3 times before I picked up any of the manga. This series follows this girl named Toru who is an orphan. She currently lives with her grandfather, but he's going to renovate his house, so she says that she's going to go to a friend's house to live while this is being done. Instead of burdening her friends, she decides to go and live in the woods, and due to certain circumstances, therefore, she meets a very strange family. And this family is actually a family who deal with the zodiacs. This is known as the Soma family. Certain people in that family, when touched by the opposite gender, turn into an animal from the zodiac. So we have our main two boys in the story, Yuki, who is the rat, and Kyo, who is the cat. As the story goes, the cat was not actually a true zodiac because it was not invited to the banquet. And therefore, Kyo and his family is extremely estranged, looked down upon, and extremely hated in the community, especially by the rat. This story basically sets her up in this family and her journey with them, and how, because of their experiences with her, she's able to change them and show them how amazing life can be. This family is headed by a very rude individual by the name of Aikido, who keeps an iron hold on all of them and just treats them as if these people are their pawns. And I am in love with Kyo. Kyo is just the cutest, sweetest darn thing you will ever see in your life. And I just know that even though things have changed a lot through the end, I still would like one of those books that are like a couple years down the road, this is where they are now. I just would like to know what's going on in their lives. I'd like to know all the sweet stuff that's happening. Just take in them lovely Soma boys and those awesome Soma girls and Toru's sweetness. Who wouldn't want a sweet little Toru in their life? The themes in this book series just really dig into your heart because there's something that everyone can relate to, and each zodiac has their own struggles that mirror everybody else's struggles. And the final book series that I would like to talk about that I wish it had sequels to is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. We all know and love Percy Jackson, who is the son of Poseidon and goes on all of these awesome adventures because he's entwined in this deep prophecy. The fact that this book series is even in existence just makes me so happy. It makes me a happy Bailey. I know that, of course, Rick Riordan has tons of other series and the Heroes of Olympus that leak off of this series, and yes, Percy's in them somewhat, and yes, Percy is in the Trials of Apollo, but I want a series back that just focuses on Percy.
Can we go back to where it all began? Something for you.
Reading this series from 3rd to 6th grade, it was just extremely magical, and it meant so much to me, and I've read these books multiple times over since then. Except this one I've only read once. Probably because of all the sadness that it includes, but whatever. Rick, why do that to me? Why you just gotta tear characters from my life? It's just not cool. That's not cool as an author. You just can't do that. The follow-off series and trickle-off series, they do not have that same magic to me. Sure, they're amazing, do not get me wrong. They are fabulous books, but they just don't have the same feel to them. I just wish that we could have that feeling again of just Percy being young and just figuring out life and just living it and trying to get through it without getting killed. Because that's what I want. This isn't my book, this is my sister's book. His signature is literally our squiggle. So if we want to analyze it, it's kind of like a big O and a little N. And then a hoopity-doopity squee. Who else wants Percy back as Percy was in these books? Anybody besides me? Please tell me somebody besides me. I don't want to be alone. Please, somebody. Alright, that's all I have for today, guys. What are your feelings on the new Percy Jackson books? Do you have any books that you wish had sequels to? Let me know down in the comments, and I will definitely check those books out because I am a curious mind who's very, very thirsty right now. Thank you so much again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time with a new video. Bye!